So in which case, this brings us to the actual activity. And so if Sean, the facilitator of this activity, can come up here and help me.
So one of our goals in having this town hall was to, out of the 11 recommendations that you have in front of you, was to slim that down a little bit, to present to the provost one option in how we can make the university a better institution. One of the things we want to emphasize is that the recommendations that you have in front of you are not a list of demands that we have presented to the provost, and he has not denied those. There is a very open partnership on this issue with the provost's office, which we respect and continue to work with, which is great. So basically, we just need to take this report and gather more input so we can say, here's option 1, and then go from there to find option 2 and 3. So in doing that, we're going to get a little creative and artistic. So if everyone can please join me closer to the stage on your feet, that would be great, because we don't have time for dialogue. So we're going to be doing this with our hands and pens and paper. So we're going to be drawing and writing some words. So if you can join me to the front at this time, thank you so much. So what we're doing, this is called generative theme drawings. Generative theme drawings. Basically, when we communicate as humans, we communicate ideas, thoughts. Some even would go so far as to call them dreams. Something tells you, I know this and I feel this, and you communicate that and say, this is. But many of us very rarely have any idea of what is in your head. So we are going to try and get on the same page here by visually depicting what we're talking about. Now, none of you have to be students of the design department, and none of you have to be artists to complete this project. I'm the worst in terms of any artistic endeavor, so stick figures are highly encouraged. What I want you to do is, as equally as possible, divide yourselves up in front of one of these pieces of paper for me. They're all the same. Just equally divide yourselves among the piece of paper, just for ease of logistics. So what we're doing is, you have a phrase there. It says, what social justice looks like at the new school. And when we flip it over, we'll find what social justice does not look like at the new school. What I want you to do is draw stick figures, words, images, symbols, graffiti, whatever you want that to you either symbolizes what social justice looks like or does not look like at the new school. This, again, is very open. It could be hypothetical. It could be things that do exist at the new school, or it could be things that don't exist. Reasons why this is beneficial. Once we have the completed picture and we discuss some of the major themes that have come up, we can see what does not exist from what does exist, right? So from what you draw, we can see what's missing, right? It's a very clear way to see what we can't see. And by seeing what we can't see, we know what to bring into action and into effect. Also, by taking a look at what already exists, we know what we want to promote and what we want to keep and what we want to preserve. Rules of the game are as follows. You have 5 minutes to fill this entire blank sheet of paper with images, words, and drawings. Everyone must grab a pen and put it to the paper. No one can be passive. And time starts now. Go.
And then my answer is even more big. Words.
Also be aware of your fellow classmates who don't have posters that are anywhere near covered. If you can let out your hand, if you have one that is covered. 3 minutes.
Can we go on the other side right away? What's missing? Okay.
Here's a 2, there's a 2, there's a 2. So group these into 2s. They should be even. 2s, 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 2s. All right, we'll have one group of 3. One group of 3. And so, actually, for those of you who are less artistically inclined and sat down in the back, this is the analytical analysis part of the project, which you're more than welcome to join us. Since we're talking about diversity and community, I question why you're not involved. Please join us. Please, come forward. So what you're going to do is you're all going to form, you've just formed groups here. You've just formed groups and you're responsible for having a dialogue with your group about the themes and concepts that are presented on those pages. And then you will elect one individual to relay those concepts and themes to the larger community. So we'll give you about 5 minutes to go ahead and review and come up with any themes that you see either repeated or that pop out to you that you want to bring to light to the larger community. And you all are welcome to analyze these drawings as well, those in the back as well.
Well, also, the report wasn't, it also doesn't include any of Manus, it doesn't include any of the schools. I like,
And also university.
yeah.
Why is there one actually big concerns?
No. I mean, the report most definitely was not, definitely not inclusive, it's not complete, it doesn't represent the entire university by any means whatsoever. It
This is
definitely
rest and not shown. Good, bad draft, back to the drawing.
Yeah, well, I mean, we at least wanted to students who aren't, to students who aren't like me who don't even know that it's even a possibility, that might have come this evening and know more about the report. Not because the report is like the important, it's
You went to
like content, just to be made aware and just to like enter. Oh, absolutely.
You should all congratulate yourselves for. Actually, why don't we go ahead and do that? Round of applause for everybody involved. Because what you have actually done is you've emulated a real-life case study. You've gone ahead and, in an artistic way, have interviewed about 25 to 15 to 25 students here at the new school on their thoughts and issues on social justice. You've recorded and analyzed your findings, and now you've come to a consensus as to what you found and what the student body wants to address in terms of social justice. You've also done this with limited resources. There were not enough pens on purpose, just as there are limited funds for any sort of commission of any sort of group to work on diversity, yet you were somehow able to come up with results, which is what we, of course, push for on your behalf. So let's go ahead one by one. We'll go ahead and we'll do this in silence, except for the individual who's presenting, just so we give everybody's thoughts and concepts, which may be personal and intimate to them, their due respect. And we'll begin over here, if that's okay. And so we're now in the middle. We're going to the middle. They have the microphone already. So, so tell us, what did you guys find? What did you guys see? What's popping over there?
Okay, so for what social justice does not look like at the new school, there's a lot. I think our main complaints is that, first of all, there's like no communication between the different divisions of the school, between the administration and the students, between the students and other students. That kind of cuts off any acts of social justice. I mean, so many people don't know about ways they can reach out to each other to help each other and to really like implement the things that we learn here, which is really sad. You know, like for example, like the gender studies program has no money. Like there has to be like a way for us to get these programs money so that they can still exist. You know, it's really sad that it's like a new program. I mean, at the new school, our gender studies program is brand new. So we have that. We also have, there's like no support, like infrastructural, like institutional, and like there's no infrastructure for students. Particularly, I mean, we talked a little bit about there's no support for low-income students to continue their education, and a lot of times low-income students have to leave the school, which is completely unfair. And I mean, you can't have social justice if there's no money. Like, I mean, it's sad, but there really needs to be some sort of financial support for both programs and for students to continue their education. And that's a really big factor for, you know, like racial, like a racial divide within the school. You know, a lot of students of color who don't have money have to leave, and then it looks like the school's whitewashed when actually, you know, there's no like retention rate because of this.